we wanted to, we invited Mia to come on this morning and present to us. And as you guys know, Mia rocks, and she's very, very successful as a real estate wealth manager, has an expansive knowledge of real estate investing and things like that. So we thought we'd give the floor to Mia. So Mia, I'm going to let you take it away. And yay.
Hi. So I hope you guys are ready because I have a lot to talk about. I attended a Tony Robbins live virtual event a couple of weeks ago, and it changed my life. And I'm going to bring you guys a little piece of what I learned from this event, and hopefully it will make a difference in you and your business and your personal lives and everything. So today we're going to talk about mindset, but we're not just going to talk about the typical mindset that we want to be in or looking at where we're at, but I want to talk about a mindset shift. And raise your hand if you guys have listened to Tony Robbins. Anybody? I know we've probably all seen a bunch of his quotes. He was mentee to Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and an abundance of different people out there. So he's super big. And I've heard him a million times, but somehow going through his event really made a huge shift. And I'm excited for our November event that he's doing and getting a group together to do it together. But I'm going to give you a little taste today. So one of the things he teaches is physiology of your body and how that makes a difference in not only your mindset, but your every single day. So I hope you guys are ready because I'm going to make you guys actually move. So if you will, if you're not driving, stand up and we're going to practice breathing together. Come on, everybody do it. I want you all standing. So breathing does something to your body. So whenever we talk about take a deep breath, most of us take a deep breath and we go in and we pull our shoulders back and we put our chest up and we take a deep breath and we let it out. There's actually a correct way to take a deep breath. And some of us know it, especially if you work out or if you've been in a gym, then you may have a better understanding of this. But when you take a deep breath, you can bring your shoulders back and your chest up, but it's really, really important. You take a deep breath and you go, and your stomach protrudes out. And the reason for that is your diaphragm physically moves downward. It pushes downward. And if your stomach is not pushing out when you're taking a deep breath, you're doing it wrong. So if you take a deep breath, everybody take a deep breath right now, and you go in 10, hold it for 5 seconds, and out 10. And when you go out, your stomach usually flattens a little bit. I thought I would have a little bit more time today, but we talk a lot, so I'm going to try to cut it short. But we're going to do another in 10. Suck, bring it all the way in, push the stomach out, diaphragm down, hold it, and then out 10. And what that does is it changes your body. It changes physiology in your body. And if you can do this for 5 minutes a day in the beginning of your day, it will actually change your mindset. You stop, you don't think about anything. How often in our day do we physically not think about anything except our body? And that's what this does. You're thinking about your brain, you're thinking about your mind, you're thinking about your breaths, and you are thinking about nothing else, which reduces stress. It changes the way your body's working. Don't sit down too quick, guys. This is Tony Robbins, okay? He has us up in these events. You are on your feet from 7 a.m. until 8 or 9 or 10 p.m. every single day of the event, and it is intense. But what that does is it changes your patterns. Your physical breath changes your patterns, changes your mindset, changes where you're at. So if you think about your breaths, that will give you a different start to your day. And I can't go too much into it, but if you start that pattern and try it, I think it'll make a difference. The other thing he talks about is the physiology in movement. So I don't have a boom box here for you like he does, but he makes you move. in everything that you do. And Ryan Gertis is a testament to this. If you watch him on the phone, if you watch him working, he is constantly moving. He talks with his hands. He raises his voice. He walks back and forth, right? Like, he doesn't sit down. Movement makes a difference in your physiology of your body, in your attitude, in your perception. So move. And when Tony Robbins does this, he's got this loud music and everyone's jumping up and down and you're moving your arms and you're going crazy. So just move a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Jump up and down. I know we're crazy. Move your arms, dance, pretend we have this rock and beat going on. And the goal of this is to get your body hyped. It actually changes your diaphragm. It pulls your diaphragm down when you jump up and down. If you have one of those big balls, that's why people sit on them at their desk. You sit on the ball and you bounce up and down, and it affects your breath. It affects your diaphragm, gives you physical energy. The more you move, the more energy you have, the better your mindset. That is what it's all about. So I have a Samsung watch. I know a bunch of you guys have Apple Watch or your smartwatch that tells you every hour or whenever you're laid back to get moving. I no joke right now, if my watch goes off and tells me that I need to move, I get up and move. I was in a restaurant the other day with a client and I was like, oh, my watch said I have to move. And I literally stood up in the restaurant and I just started moving my arms and wiggling around and just creating movement because it makes a difference in my body. And it has completely changed the physiology. And there's more to it. But my goal is to help you guys realize that when we're sitting here at our desks all day, right? How often are we sitting at our desk making our calls and we start to get in that slump or, oh my gosh, I've already made 5 calls, or I'm just, I'm dealing with the kids or schoolwork, right? They're in their homeschool for a lot of you. Make them get up and move. That little bit of movement will make a difference in what you're doing. It'll make a difference in how you react to what you're reading or looking at or feeling. And ultimately, this is how we get out of our slumps. This is how we get out of our depressions. This is how we put a forward-thinking mindset, is by movement. So 2 of the 5 things that Tony Robbins really pushes is breathing and movement. All day long, every single time you're feeling stressed, every single time you're feeling in a slump, every single time you feel anything other than a positive mindset. And let me tell you, it works. It has changed so much for me. And I'm a fairly positive person, but now that I'm physically moving all the time, and of course I'm working out now too, which also helps, it changes where I'm at and how I feel. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can take that extra step. I can make that extra phone call. And it doesn't feel as hard as it did because of the mindset shift. So I'll let you guys sit back down now. You don't have to stand the whole time, although Tony Robbins would totally make you stand the whole time. So if you do decide to come attend this event with me, then be aware it is a very active event. And somehow at the end of your 13, 14-hour day of standing on your feet, half of it, you still have energy. And it's because of the mindset shift he puts you into. So obviously I'm a huge Tony Robbins fan, so I'm sorry, but 90% of what I'm talking about today isn't going to be original, but it's worth it. So now I want to, I'm already missed my whole page and I haven't even looked at my notes yet. Now we're going to talk about limiting beliefs. And this is another exercise that he does. And obviously I'm limited on how long I can do this. When he does a limiting belief exercise, it literally goes over the course of like 3.5, 4 hours of you going through this mental process of a limiting belief. So what a limiting belief is a thought inside your head that says something that you believe about yourself, about your self-identity. And typically a limiting belief is not something that we share with people. It's not even something that we typically admit. Because who wants to admit that I have a belief about myself that may not be pushing me forward, right? And some of us have, like the easy ones, like, oh, I'm forgetful. That's an easy limiting belief to let affect my life. I'm forgetful. I can't do that. For me, I've had hip problems for the last 5 years, and I've told myself a million times, I can't do that hike. I can't work out as hard as other people. I can't. Whatever my I can't belief is, that's my limiting belief. And I'm going to get a little bit serious with you guys, and you guys are going to learn a little bit about me. But my limiting belief is I am not good enough. Well, it was I am not good enough because I haven't had that actual thought or actual belief in myself in over 3 weeks. And it's because of the mindset shift. It's a reprogramming. So I guess how much could you guys even hear? Like when did I cut out?
So it sounded like you were going to go into limiting beliefs.
Okay.
Maybe like a little exercise on that.
Yes. So what I wanted everybody to think about what your limiting belief is. I know I'm going to go through this super quick, so hopefully it'll still be beneficial for you guys. But
take your time. Take your time.
Well, I don't want to hold up the entire day. Believe me, I can talk about this for hours. So limiting beliefs are when you have a belief about yourself, it's about your identity, and it changes what you think you can do. You guys all got that part? The I can't statements that we tell ourselves. So my limiting belief personally was that I am not good enough. And that is what I told myself about everything in my life, no matter what it was. Even when I wanted to be good enough, even when I used my mantras and my affirmations of being good enough, I never truly felt like I was good enough. And it didn't matter what it was, whether it was a good enough mom, a good enough partner, a good enough real estate wealth manager, a good enough person. I never truly felt good enough. And you guys are going to get a little bit of my feelers here. And so when I was in this event, and it took, no joke, like 3.5 hours, and he brings you through the pain of your limiting beliefs. So I can't see anybody right now. I can only see Mike. So I'm hoping that this is, because I'm on my phone now, my computer won't even turn on. I want everybody to think about one limiting belief that you have. And if you can, write it down, but just think about it. Think about something that affects you on your day-to-day. And it doesn't have to be deep right now, but I've done this process about 10 times in the last couple of weeks with all different things because it has made such a difference in my mindset. And think about what your limiting belief is. And it could be anything. It could be I can't statement about physical fitness and health. It can be about parenting and homeschooling. It can be about your business and how you're going to progress. It can be about leads and how you're going to build leads. Whatever you feel is a limiting belief that is affecting your life, I want you to think about that. And I'm going to take you through a shortened version, but with that, I want you to associate a thought, a debilitating thought, with whatever this limiting belief is. And I'm going to ask some questions, and everybody's answers are different. I mean, I don't need you to tell me the answers, but I want you to think about them because this is a process. And with that limiting belief, with that habit of you telling yourself this limiting belief, what will it cost you? And think about that. What does that limiting belief cost you? And for me, I am not good enough. For me, it cost me many things. And I'm going to talk about my daughter today. And I have a 17-year-old adopted daughter who lives with her father, for those of you who don't know. And the idea that I am not good enough cost me a portion of my relationship because she knows by the way I act and what I do that I feel like I'm not good enough. So that's something that affects me every single day. What will I miss out on if I don't change? So with me and my daughter, I'm missing out on time with her. I'm missing out on trust from her. I'm missing out on a deeper relationship. For a business thing, you could be missing out on leads. You could be missing out on relationships. You could be missing out on sales, money. You know, we're all looking for the money. You can miss out on helping people. because of your limiting belief. Where will I be in 5 years if I don't change? So with my daughter, she's going to be in college. She could be off doing whatever she's doing. Where am I going to be in 5 years if I don't change? For business, I want to be a successful real estate wealth manager. I want to be killing it. I want to be out there making money and building relationships and living a referral-based business. But if I don't change my limiting belief of I am not good enough, how is anyone else going to trust me? How are they going to see me as the best real estate wealth manager, the best person who can step in and help them? If I can't change that inside of myself, it's going to reflect on what I do and who I am. No matter what, it's there. If I do change, how will I feel about myself? So think of that we're thinking about our own limiting beliefs. If I do change, how will I feel? And obviously, this one's kind of an overall. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be wealthier. If I change, I can build a better relationship with my daughter. I can have her want to come see me all the time. I can do that, and I can be a better mom for her. I will. How will it change my life for the better if I do change? So if I change, these are the things that are going to happen. And every single one of us are thinking about something different right now, but it's a step-by-step process. And I want this to be specific, and usually, yeah? Somebody's not muted. Usually we have a lot more time to think about these questions, and I can send this over to you guys. I know I didn't do a PowerPoint because I feel like seeing it in person is super important, but I can't see anybody right now. I can just see myself. But the goal is to truly think about these questions in a very deep, specific state of mind. How much happier will I be? How much healthier will I be? And how much wealthier will I be? So the point is you want to take every single one of, over the course of time, not all in one day, and this can be an emotional process depending on what your limiting belief is. The point is to take this limiting belief to the most painful state of mind. You literally want to take, for me, I am not good enough. And my state of mind, like I said, over the course of hours, my state of mind went from, I am not a good enough mom. I am not a good enough person. I am not a good enough parent. I am teaching my daughter to not be good enough. I am making her feel like she's not good enough. And it goes all the way to the deepest of deep. And my most painful thought in the world is that if I teach my daughter to feel like she's not good enough, then she's going to feel like there's nothing for her. She's not going to succeed. She's going to end up in drugs. She's going to end up in alcohol. She's going to end up miserable. She's going to end up in self-mutilation. And my worst thought in the entire world is my thought of I am not good enough is going to lead to my daughter's destruction. And she could potentially get to that point and feel like she's not good enough, and she could commit suicide because I didn't teach her to feel like she's good enough. And that's not my responsibility, and I know that, and that's a whole nother conversation. But that's where I took my painful belief. That is how deep I got it, is to death. So now, if that thought crosses my mind, if it even comes into play of I am not good enough, that's my emotional, my physical response to that thought, and it hurts. We all know what a loss of somebody does, and let alone feeling like a responsibility of that loss and having it be somebody so close to you. So that pain is physical now. It is so deep inside of me that it feels real when I think I am not good enough. So then once I got to that spot, in an excruciating pain, right? I'm in this event, I'm in tears, I'm emotional, I'm everything that you could possibly imagine if it physically really happened. And then he brings you up, and he starts asking all the good questions. And what do I have to do to change? How do I make sure that I feel good enough? How do I make sure that I can be that example that I can teach my daughter to feel good enough? And this is everything in life. I'm associating with my daughter because that was the deepest one for me, and that was the one that I associated the most. But it's worked with me on lead generation. It's worked with me on making phone calls. My fear of making phone calls. I'm too scared to make a phone call to a stranger. What if they hang up on me? What if I fail? What if I say the wrong thing? Like all of those horrible thoughts. Well, guess what? When you associate that with the worst of the worst, if I don't make this phone call, if I do not overcome that fear, if I do not be better, I am going to fail as a real estate wealth manager. And ultimately that leads to my worst destruction. That leads to me failing, me working at McDonald's in the drive-through, my daughter seeing that, and ultimately leads straight back to my deepest pain of how is that going to affect my daughter and my life and my family. So I'm hoping, I can't see any of you guys. I don't know if this is good or if this is bad because I'm laying it all down here for you. I'm hoping that we can all take a little bit of this mindset shift, this reprogram, and we can take that to our next level in everything. And like I said, it's been 3 weeks. I've done this probably 10 times with all these different things. And as soon as I start feeling a limiting belief, and I'm telling people around me about limiting beliefs, so I have a couple of friends who I've said something or whatever, and they literally they look at me and they go, that's the F word. You just said I can't. When I was fixing my alternator the other day, I texted my friend and I'm like, I don't have the man strength. I can't do this. And my friend's like, are you kidding? Go get a breaker bar. You can do this. Well, guess what? I went and got a breaker bar from Harbor Freight and I knocked that bolt off and I finished fixing the alternator on my own. I can do anything I put my mind to if I go through this and reprogram my brain. This isn't about an affirmation. This isn't a verbal affirmation, and it's about who I believe I am, who you believe you are. And every limiting belief is a part of your identity. So the goal is you change that limiting belief to a positive belief about yourself, about your family, about who you are. It's your self-identity. And if you can do that with all of these different things, we can be like Tony Robbins and be this massive, successful millionaire out there helping people every single day in whatever we put our minds to. No matter what it is, we can be the elite real estate wealth managers. People can look at us and go, oh, you're a part of that team. You're them. And that's what our goal is. And I know that's what Ryan and Mike's goal is. And they're great at teaching this to us. And they've been teaching us everything that I'm talking about right now. They've really been teaching the last couple of years that I've been on this team. But for me, it hit. And I figured out a process to make the change, not an affirmation. And this is one of the things Tony Robbins talks about. It is not an affirmation, it is an incantation. And there's a difference. It's good to say affirmations, but it's more important to say incantations. And incantations, the biggest difference, incantations are done with your body. They're a physical thing. It's the movement thing. It's standing up. It's moving your diaphragm. It's raising your voice. It's making yourself believe what you're saying to yourself. So I'm going to go through a handful of incantations that are Tony Robbins, and I hope that at least one of them will resonate with you. And I really hope that you can write down your own incantations and make a difference in your own life with these. And of course, his biggest one, his event is called UPW. It's Unleash the Power Within, because we all have the power within us right now. It is not something we have to earn. It is not something we have to learn. And it's not something we have to gain. It is something we have to unleash within ourselves. So his biggest one is, I have unlimited power to do whatever, to overcome an obstacle, to obtain a success. I have unlimited power. All I need is within me right now. In this very moment, I can do anything. I could make $1 million this year if I wanted to. And I do want to. And I'm going to by next year. I can do anything that I set my mind to. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And every day, In every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. And this is all aspects. I started working out a couple of weeks ago. Me and my girlfriend were just talking yesterday. We worked out for an hour and 15 minutes instead of 45 minutes. We upped all of our reps from 8 to 10. That is me physically getting stronger. I can physically see the difference in the 10 pounds that I've lost, in the energy that I've gained, in the self-confidence that I have. We do that in everything. I can get stronger in my emotions, in my mental, in my physical, in my spiritual. All of it gets stronger and stronger every single day. And we can't let a day pass that we don't appreciate that strength and appreciate that change. Because if you let that day pass, it's gone. If you appreciate it every single day and you teach your children to appreciate it every single day, you will see continuous improvement, and you will look in the mirror every day and see the change. Now I am the voice. I am a voice. I am the voice. No matter what I am the voice for, right now I am the voice speaking to my fellow real estate wealth managers and hoping to improve and change just a little bit, just one thing. If you take away one thing today, it'll make a difference, and it'll make everything that I'm doing right now worth it. But you know what? If all of you walk away and go, man, that chick's crazy, and they kick me off the team and it's all over, I wouldn't care. I know the power that I have within me, and I know the success that I can create. I will lead, not follow. And the reason we should all be leaders is because we have to lead ourselves. We have to lead our families. We have to lead our friends in the positive way that we live. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. Self-explanatory. You have to believe. If you choose to use a doubting phrase, you are physically more likely to follow that doubt. You will chase that negativity. You will chase that pain. If you choose the positive statement, the positive route, if you choose to believe, you are more likely to go that direction. We all know that what we focus on is where we go. So if we keep rowing our boat towards a rock, we're going to hit the rock. Stop looking at the rock, look at the path. I am a force for good. And being a real estate wealth manager, we often tell people, don't sell your house. Use it for a rental, use it for an investment, use it for an income. That is the force within us. That is something that sets us apart from everyone around us. And I will defy the odds. We all know we have that capability to defy the odds. And we all have people around us saying, you're not going to make it, or you're not good enough. Or how are you going to get 12 transactions this year? I'm going to defy those odds. I'm going to get 12 in the next 4 or 5 months, whatever's remaining of the year. I'm going to defy the odds, and I don't care how hard I have to work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to defy the odds. So set that standard. And the one of the last things he does is, I will set new standards. You set the standards for your life. So if you look at, Ryan called me out the other day and he goes, Mia, why is your goal 10 calls a day? He's like, I made 10 calls before you came in here today. And I was like, well, it's 10 contacts, not 10 calls, right? My excuse for myself. And he's like, but is that enough? Is that enough to achieve your goals? Well, I mean, 10 of the right contacts, sure. But how do I know I'm calling the 10 right contacts, right? 10 a day? So I have to set my standard. I have to take my comfortable ball and raise it to succeed. I have to make it so that it hurts just a little bit, so that it's just a little bit hard, so that at the end of the day I can say, I did that. I replaced my alternator all by myself. I did that. I can do anything. Okay, may not be able to currently redo an entire engine or things like that yet, but if I really, 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 really wanted to, I could. But it's that thought. I know without a doubt I can do anything. Anything. And so can you. And the only thing that's holding any of us back right now, today, is our own limiting beliefs within ourselves. So my challenge to you is write down 3 limiting beliefs today. 3 that you feel are some of the most important. And sometimes you're gonna have more than that. Write them down. If you're thinking about them, write them down. And step by step, go through a process of overcoming it. Every single day, take another minute to take that step above. And if you do that, you will all of a sudden see leads flowing in. You will all of a sudden make a phone call and somebody will hang up on you and you'll be like, meh, next call. You will all of a sudden be doing what you've been trying to do. Or step up your game. If you're already doing great, you'll step up that game just one more level higher and do it with ease. Or get 1 more transaction a month than you had on your goal. Whatever it is, it's all possible. But we all find ourselves in these limiting beliefs, and especially right now with, like, I see all the joking memes on homeschooling, right? Like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, props to the teacher. You know, I've had a glass of wine 3 times this morning, you know, trying to teach my kid or overcome tech issues and all that. We can do it. And if we sit here with this negative mindset of my kid is a burden because I'm homeschooling them, then they're going to feel that and they're going to believe that as well. And they're not going to succeed. We have to be positive about it. We can make jokes, we can have the humor around it, but we have to be positive for our kids. We have to set that example, not just in homeschooling, but in our everyday life. And they can feel our stress and they can feel all of that. And obviously, we're always going to come across massive obstacles, no matter what it is. We're going to come across tech issues where, you know, the computer shuts down in the middle of an important call, and right when I'm all pumped up. We're going to have crazy things happen in our lives, and I'm not going to go into it, but my life is like 180 spin yesterday. 180, like not 25 degrees. No, I went 180 and I am all over the place, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I know I'm going to succeed. I know I'm going to move forward, and I'm not even worried about it because I know everything's going to be okay. It's the first time in my life, you know, things go crazy no matter what it is. Things go crazy and your mind drops. And yesterday I was in a little bit of a slump, and I practiced my whole spiel for today, and I was super psyched. And then 4 o'clock came around and I was like, woo. And it was crazy. I was at peace with that. And when it happened, I let myself be in that slump for a minute because it was important to be there, and immediately jumped right out of it and jumped into action and was taking care of everything that I needed to do. And I had everything done that I needed to get done. And I didn't sit and cry or go hide or anything. I jumped out and I did what I needed to do. And that is something that, to be completely honest with you, a month ago, I'm not sure I would have been entirely capable of. And now I know I am good enough. I know I am capable. I know I'm worthy. And I don't have to be in control of everything. Some of my limiting beliefs that I've overcome in the last couple months. And I can do anything. And so can you. And I know that I haven't been able to go into this as deep as Tony Robbins is. His next event is in mid-November. I'm going to be in a vacation rental with 10 other like-minded people or more who are going to be sitting there or standing and jumping up and down, and dancing is more like it. And we're all going to be having a blast, living the dream, listening to his live virtual event. And guys, I'm gonna send a link, and I don't know if you all saw it on my page. This event is epic, and this is what Tony Robbins is capable of. And I'm gonna end with this. This is what Tony Robbins is capable of. All of this happened, COVID, right? And he said, okay, I'm delaying this live event. I'm delaying this live event. And after 2 times of having to delay this live event, he said, I'm not delaying it any longer. And he said, Zoom, I need you guys. I need you guys to create a system where 25,000 people can be on at the exact same time while we are doing a live event for 13 hours a day. How many tech issues do we have with our video stuff right now, right? How many of you think that that's even possible? It is. He had over 30,000 people attend this live event on Zoom in public, or in this big studio he created, spent like $1 million on this studio to be able to do this. And it was the most epic live virtual event you will ever see in your life. Everyone is now trying to get something like that to happen. That is what he is capable of, because that's what he set his mind to, and that's what he had his people do. We can all do it. Doesn't matter what it is. We set it in motion. We'll make it happen. So I'm gonna leave you guys with one last thing. I think I skipped half my notes here, but that's okay. And it is a Tony Robbins quote. I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible. Today, to better their lives by giving me the strength, the emotion, the persuasion, the humor, the brevity, whatever it takes to show these people and get these people to change their life now. And that he says that at all of his events, the Date with Destiny, Unleash the Power, all of that kind of stuff. And that's his big thing. And at the end of every single event, now guys, if this is my slap in the face, right? At the end of every single event, every podcast, all of it, this is something that he does, is live with passion. And I want to show you guys something that I've had since I was 18 years old, and it is hung on the wall of every single house I've lived in. No joke, every single house. This is the first thing on my wall. And you can't see it very well, but it says live with passion. And I had no clue that this was Tony Robbins' big leg motto thing. Obviously it's been said for years, but live with passion. And that is what I do every single day. And that is what he has taught me to be able to do, is live with passion and not to worry, but to see the positivity in everything and to move forward. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Pass you on. I'm sure we get a 10-minute break here. Hopefully I didn't run too far. But I do also want to offer, if you guys have questions, if you want to learn more about the event, if you want to talk to me privately, if you want to go deeper into one of these, I am not trained or qualified at all, but I will totally help in whatever way I can and make this a better experience and hopefully teach a little bit. And I'll send you some links with Tony Robbins that'll come out via email, and some of his stuff. And I've read a billion of his books now. Yeah, so live with passion, live lucky. Peace. Pass it on to you guys.
Hey, Mia, I know you can't see everybody, but first of all, fantastic job. I can see everybody, and everybody is incredibly engaged. My question is what does he say? Because I think for a lot of people, they have other people in their lives that influence them and really contribute to that, limited beliefs, just, negativity. I mean, you could be the most positive person in the world, but if you have people around you that don't believe in you and are beating you down and not supporting you, it's almost I would think it would be almost impossible to overcome that.
So do you think that a limiting belief might be that person has an influence in your life?
Well, I mean,
it is a limiting belief. So if somebody is affecting you, if somebody is a negative personality, a part of your life, no matter who they are, it could be a parent, it could be a partner or a friend or a family member, the fact that I am trusting what they're saying, the fact that I am listening to what they're saying, that is a limiting belief in itself. A limiting belief is their opinion is more important than my own. Is it? Because if it is, you have another limiting belief to overcome in yourself, and it's going to take a little bit of extra steps. Everyone has somebody around them that's negative. Everyone has somebody around them that says you can't do it. Tony Robbins was literally living in a 300 square foot shack after being one of the most successful people at 18 years old. He was living in a shack, and people around him told him he was a failure. I'm in a similar boat right now. But it doesn't matter the people around you. You have to overcome that. And that's an internal belief. And that's a belief in your own identity. And you can't let somebody else affect you in that way. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of steps. It takes a lot of confidence. And it's not going to build overnight. I was lucky enough to be at a 4-day event with 4 women who sat there with me. And not only were we watching and engaging and jumping and changing the physiology of our body while we're doing it, because when we're saying these things and listening to things and believing these things, we're moving, we're changing the physiology to make it happen. I was lucky enough to have that for 4 days. And that was so, so important to my change. And I know that I can't give that to you over a screen without the full impact. And that's why I'd like to talk to people more and to hopefully guide a little bit further. But you have to do that in yourself. And if you can do that in yourself, then you can talk to that person and have a real conversation with them and say, I am going to do this. I am going to succeed. You can't stop me. And what I would like to ask of you is for your support, or Tony Robbins is a very blunt person. He would say, ask for their support or to shut up, period. There is no in between. And don't tell me that I can't do something. Don't even hint that it's not possible. Cool. And if you can, cut the person out of your life. But obviously that's not always easy.
All right, Mia, again, fantastic job. Loved it. It was great. It was great. Made me think really hard about a couple things.